Hello, my name is Christopher Anatra. You know me as a quantum businessman. Welcome to the series of videos I've titled Symphony of Realities. Each of these videos or acts are interconnected like a symphony to help you understand how reality and your consciousness work within our holographic universe. Welcome to Act 2, Keepers of Abundance. What is abundance? Abundance is never being in lack. Abundance is always being provided with what you need at the right time. Abundance is having any type of poverty programs you might be running turned off. When you resonate the frequency of abundance, you are in sync with Earth. You are in sync with the universe. Just think of our planet. Think of the resilience of nature. Humans could disappear off our planet and the abundance of nature would always be there. Just as new seedlings sprout from the ground in the springtime through the rest of the seasons. Abundance is something we all desire. It's actually a superpower, and many have killed for it. Once you have abundance and are free of the worries of just staying alive, then all other things are possible. You may be familiar that a few of the wealthiest men on the planet were on the Titanic when it went down. I'm going to focus on one of them, John JACOB Astor IV. He was known in the unseen as a keeper of abundance. Let me explain. John Astor was widely believed to have been the richest man in the world at the time of his death, even richer than J.P. Morgan. I want to mention that as I was putting this act of Symphony of Realities together, I was strongly visited by the spirit of John Astor, and I have his permission to reveal some things about him. By the way, I'm supposed to be the quantum businessman, not the quantum medium, but as I create these videos, I seem to attract these beings who want their stories told, and I'm happy to do so. So let's begin. The wealth of John Astor and the other millionaires far exceeded J.P. Morgan's wealth and influence, and Astor was respected and looked up to by many, just the opposite of J.P. Morgan. Now, you may have heard conspiracy theories that John Astor and the other influential millionaires on board were the only ones who could cause problems for J.P. Morgan's dream of the American Central Bank and the Federal Reserve System, but that's not where I'm going. When reading into the Akashic records who the spirit of John Astor was, a few things come right to the surface. He had angelic qualities. He had his genius DNA activated. He was overflowing with abundance energy. He was a keeper of abundance. And he was a founder of this solar system. What is a founder? Founders emit a very unique frequency of energy by the biophotons of their body. It could be described as a foundational or root energy. Founders are the dreamscapers of different earth realms. Founders are similar in concept to the founders of a company or business. The spirit or higher consciousness of John Astor was a founder or dreamscaper of our solar system. But even more important than that was his abundance energy in wealth. It is so strong that literally almost anything he did would be amazingly successful, and it was. There were two other millionaires on board who perished, who also emitted abundance energy, but John Astor's was by far the strongest. When reading into it, these three men together were generating 61% of all the abundance energy on the planet at that time. John Astor's alone represented 50% of Earth's abundance energy generated by a human. And guess who wanted all that abundance energy for himself? None other than J.P. Morgan, who not only was a cutthroat businessman, but he was also a thief of abundance, a thief of stolen abundance energy, and he wanted to use it as a battery for himself and his ventures. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, for your consideration, I now present to you how this abundance energy was stolen and trapped. The higher consciousness of J.P. Morgan, working with the controllers of this matrix or interacting with the programming of the ship. They turned it into a type of prison for energy harvesting. When the Titanic sunk, it became a ghost ship which made it hard for some of the ghosts to get out. Part of the spirit of John Astor and other millionaires were stolen. We'll call these soul shards or soul fragments, emanating abundance energy. Then, using portal technology, and you could think of this almost as if you were to watch an episode of Star Trek when they beam someone from one location to another. Using portal technology, the soul shards of John Astor and the other millionaires were transported to different prison locations, which trapped them and continually harvested their abundance energy. Here is another way to understand this by using the Einstein and Rosen bridges theory. In 1935, Einstein and physicist Nathan Rosen proposed the existence of bridges through space-time. These bridges connect two different points in space-time, theoretically creating a shortcut. The shortcuts came to be called Einstein-Rosen bridges, or wormholes.
We think we had wormholes figured out on paper. So Einstein's general theory of relativity, which is our understanding of how gravity works in the universe, says that any presence of mass or energy will warp the fabric of space and time. And so you can think to yourself, imagine warping space and time in such a way that you can cut a portal from your location in space and emerge in another location in space.
Just like Einstein and Rosen proposed, a portal technology, just like what you see on the Quantum Businessman logo, as I use it to illustrate walking through a portal from one reality to another. Remember that everything is energy, frequency, and vibration, including the hologram known as John Astor. Astor's hologram included what we could call soul shards, emanating abundance energy. These soul shards of abundance energy were teleported from one location to another. Where is this current prison of abundance energy located? Using remote viewing techniques, looking at a map, you are first directed to North America. Then, the East Coast of the United States. Then, New York City. Then, when you zoom in, a strange-looking octagon-shaped skyscraper located at 383 Madison Avenue. What is this odd-looking building? It's known as the J.P. Morgan Building. It was originally constructed for Bear Stearns. However, during the stock market crash of 2008, it was taken over by J.P. Morgan. By the way, stock market crashes are also another way the controllers of this matrix use to harvest abundance energy. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, please bear with me as I continue. First, examine the logo of J.P. Morgan. It's an octagon. It's a symbol of the trapped abundance energy of John Astor and the other millionaires aboard the Titanic, as well as all the abundance energy harvested elsewhere. A constant reminder of stolen abundance energy every time you see their logo. You don't see many octagon-shaped buildings, but why this shape consisting of 8 equal sides? For some, you'll be reminded of the Dharma Initiative logo used in the TV series Lost. An octagon shape in rituals and symbolism stands for defense and protection. It stands for stopping time, as in a time-trapped prison. These shapes of buildings truly matter in our holographic universe, and they also matter when it comes to things you see every day. They are used to program us. For example, consider the stop sign. They are all over the United States and instruct us when we should stop our vehicle, usually at an intersection. They are in the shape of an octagon with the large letters STOP, stop. They are a constant reminder that we are being controlled. Stop, you can't escape. We listen to it, don't we? We are obedient to the stop sign, and for good reason. If we don't stop at that location, we might be hit by another vehicle, cause bodily damage, or even death. So the controllers chose a good location for this constant reminder. And what could happen if you don't properly stop? You or others could get hurt. Or a local police officer, usually in hiding, will pull you over, give you a ticket, and make you pay for your disobedience. This is a reminder that the prison guards are always on the lookout for the disobedient. When you begin to become aware and awakened the truth of the symbols right down to the programming coming to you through your TV news, you see as always being all around us. When it comes to the power of symbols and geometry, another example is in North America, where there is a huge Mandela effect place of power. Do you know where that's located? It's located in Washington, D.C. In fact, they've built a 5-sided or pentagon-shaped building over it. It's called the Pentagon, the symbol used in black magic rituals. Getting back to the financial empire that J.P. Morgan built, did you have any idea it was from abundance energy harvested from John Astor and the others on the Titanic? Is this just crazy or a clue? Keep this in mind as we move on. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, I now present to you the fourth and final dark truth as I now bring our star witness to testify. And I literally mean star witness, the star of our solar system, the sun. Because Grandfather Sun, as the Native Americans call him, has a lot to say about the timelines on that fateful day of April 15th, 1912, when the Titanic sunk. Why? Because there was an intense solar geomagnetic storm that day, a solar storm which caused a hairball of timelines. By the way, whenever I look at the sun, I see about 12 suns, like the facets of a diamond, the diamond sun. Would you like to learn more? Then please join me for Act 3 of the next Symphony of Realities. But before we go, I'd like to bring to your attention a Mandela effect which I discovered when putting this act together. Are you familiar with the 1920 terrorist attack on Wall Street? At noon on September 16, 1920, a horse-drawn wagon passed by lunchtime crowds on Wall Street and stopped across the street from the headquarters of the J.P. Morgan Bank at 23 Wall Street. The blast killed 30 people immediately, and another 10 died later of wounds from the blast. There were 143 seriously injured, and the total number of injured was in the hundreds. Were you aware of this terrorist attack on Wall Street on U.S. soil, in front of the J.P. Morgan building? I never heard of it. It was never solved who the terrorists were, but ultimately blamed on the Italians, specifically Sicilian rebels. By the way, that's my heritage, from Sicily, Germany, and Scotland. This Mandela effect was a negative timeline insertion which paved the way for the US government to enact surveillance laws against its citizens. There is so much to tell about this one Mandela effect, but we'll save that for a future presentation. Is this a Mandela effect for you also? At the moment, the court is now in recess. When we return, join me for Act 3 of the next Symphony of Realities. You're not going to want to miss this one.